Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Today we are going to take a tour here at the Garden Center. Of course, we are Creekside Nursery in Dallas, North Carolina, a Zone 8A, and my goodness, I don't know about y'all, spring has sprung here in North Carolina and we are all for it. Gorgeous weather, gorgeous plants. I have had the most fun being in the garden, planting, pruning, taking care of the garden. It is absolutely go time as far as get out, get outside, get into your garden. There is something to do. It is a fabulous time to be planting, especially your trees, your shrubs, your perennials, and yes, even some of your annuals. I planted my first annuals yesterday. You have to be careful and choose which ones you're going to put outside because, of course, we are going to get that, that last late either frost or freeze. But there are some fabulous plants that you can put out in your garden right now and be maintaining so that setting yourself up for a successful spring and summer. So we're going to walk through. I'm going to share some beautiful plants that are growing, blooming, and thriving. Some ideas for you that you can add to your garden. Of course, we do these garden tours so that you can see all of the great plants that are here at the Garden Center. I think it was last week that we introduced you to the proven winners, the Hollywood hibiscus. This is a new line from Proven Winners and the Color Choice shrubs. These are tropical hibiscus, okay? So that means until we get past that last freeze frost, you're going to need to keep them protected in your house, in a nice sunny area, in a garage, just somewhere out where the freeze doesn't get it. But these Hollywood hibiscus have beautiful color. It's really neat because unlike other tropical hibiscus, the flowers will last for 3 days. I mean, look at this. Just absolutely spectacular. These are in 3-gallon containers. Some of our online folks were asking if we have these available online. We do not. These are only available at the Garden Center. There is only a select handful of wholesale growers in the whole country that are growing these. And so we were just thankful that we were able to grab some from our friends out in Texas. They came all the way from Texas to make it their way here to Creekside. So if you can't find them, you just need to look at your local garden center, right? So ask your local garden center for the Hollywood hibiscus from Proven Winners, and hopefully they will be able to locate them for you. These will get like 4 feet tall and wide by the end of the season. Of course, they thrive in the heat and humidity. If you wanted to overwinter them, I suppose you could try and do that. They will be annuals unless you live in those really warm areas in the south, out west, where it's really nice and warm. So have lots of selection of those Hollywood hibiscus. This year, of course, with the online store, we offer plants online. Our perennials are going to be in those quart-size containers. So, for example, this is Georgia peach. This is one of those plants that I actually just planted in a container at the house this week. Eucharas, beautiful perennials. You buy them for their foliage. They will flower, but it's primarily for their foliage. The Georgia peach and basically all of the eucharas that we offer really have that Velosa gene breeding in them. That means that they can handle the heat and humidity. Beautiful color. So we have these as quarts, but we also have them as gallons here at the Garden Center. So check out that and then look at this one. Oh my goodness. I know my mama, Mimi, she grabbed this one. Red Lightning. This is from our friends at Terra Nova. Look at the color on that. These are basically, I think, hardy zones 4 to 9, I want to say. And they're going to be for that shade. This one in particular is for the shade garden. Yeah, zones 4 to 9. Just stunning. And they are relatively fast growers. You can see you've got new growth down in there. And so these are going to grow really well. I personally like doing my eucharas in containers. They just seem to do better in a container for me. Maybe it's the gardener, I don't know. But Red Lightning is a beautiful one as well. And then, oh my goodness, look at this one. Is this the berry smoothie? Yes, look at berry smoothie. So it's a little bit more of a purple than the Georgia peach. The Georgia peach really does have those more of that little bit of that orange peachy tinge to it. So if eucharas do well in your garden, lean into that, right? So I say, if whatever your garden does well, lean into that because there's so many different varieties within those lines. So maybe it's Eucharis for you, or maybe it is Pulmonaria. This is the silver, I never can say that. I know y'all have told me how to say it. Anyway, silver. That's what it is. But look how beautiful, almost a solid silver foliage on it as compared to over here, we have Shrimps on the Barbie. And Shrimps on the Barbie, as you can see, has completely different foliage to it. Your Pulmonarias are going to be for those shade garden. They tend to be more deer and rabbit resistant because they have those the fuzzy texture leaves to them. They will flower beautiful, like purpley, blue, pink, depends on the plant, but just gorgeous, gorgeous flowers. And these are long-lived perennials. Mimi has several of the Shrimps on the Barbie in her garden that she got from us years ago, and they're massive. They are huge. So check those out. And then we also have, I'm not sure if we still have them in the 3 gallons. We were able to grab them from another nursery, but the acanthus, the whitewater, look at the foliage on this plant. Again, it's going to be a little bit more for the shade garden. It is a fast grower. It's a vigorous grower, not an invasive. When I say fast and vigorous, I don't mean that it's going to take over your whole garden. But this will turn into like a 3x3. We'll do nice tall plumes of like a creamy pink flower. Oh, the whitewater is amazing. And it's for your warmer zones, 7 to 10, okay? I just planted one of these, one of the nice big ones, up at the Woodland Garden. So we're offering more of what we have online here at the Garden Center in these quart size because our customers were asking for perennials not only is in the nice big premium gallons, but also in the quart size. So we have those as well. We still have some of the chenille plants. This is such a fun plant, y'all. I'm telling you. And literally this is what it is called this is Summer Love Dwarf Chenille, like, you know, the fabric, because it is so soft and fuzzy. It is a trailer. These would do really, really well in containers. That's what I plan on doing with mine. I'm gonna put it in a hanging basket. So that way it just trails over, does these fuzzy little, almost like a little bunny tail bloom all season long. So love that for sure. And then look at these little patio trees. This is a podocarpus. This is the blue, what was the name of it? Just blue podocarpus. And look at all this new foliage, y'all. Clearly they love being in the greenhouse. We don't have the heat on the greenhouse right now because it's so warm, but they are shooting out new growth. So what I would do is, this is gonna be a fabulous plant for a container. So plant it in a container, whatever size you want. Then come on over and find some annuals, or you could even do perennials, and you can underplant it with those lovely flowering summer annuals, like we have Royal Velvet right here, and it would be such a fun container for you to use. Of course, the podocarpus is going to be, it is a shrub, so it's going to be like long-term, right? So you can have it from year to year. So come the fall, you put violas underneath it, all sorts of fun things. Talking about my shade garden people, y'all, this is the crested leopard plant, also as tractor seat plant, okay? A farfugium. So these are both farfugiums. This is the traditional one that we know of, a tractor seat plant, because the leaf looks like an old-timey tractor seat. Well, this is the crested version. So if you have a nice shade garden where farfugiums do really well, maybe you don't have this crested one yet. It is such a cool texture of a plant that would be great in your garden. So this is a great option for you. And then look at all this. Look at the new foliage. It almost has like a silver hue to it. Really unique. So this is a very happy, very healthy plant that is going to do really well in those shade gardens. All right, let's talk about some color because, oh my goodness gracious. For example, okay, there is that acanthus whitewater in a 3 gallon. So if you like the 3 gallon and you're here at the garden center, there you go, my friends. You can have that one. What are some annuals that you can put into your garden right now? What is Jenny putting into her garden? Because I definitely have that spring itch. I am ready to start planting and get some color in the garden. So here are some options for you. If you were like me and you just want to get something in your pots in the ground, you want that color, but you got to be smart about it because we're going to get that freeze again. We're going to get a frost. What plants can handle those cooler temperatures? Well, Aromanthus mulberry. This is a Nemesia. Jerry and I planted this in our backyard, both in containers and the landscape early last year, and it was beautiful. So if you imagine having a lovely carpet of this Aromanthus mulberry, has a nice fragrance, hence its name, beautiful. Okay, so let's pair it with some of the violet night. This is that sweet alyssum. It too has a lovely fragrance to it. This is going to be more of a trailer, a mounder. It's going to be low. So if you put it in a container, you're going to put it on the edge of your container and it's going to spill over. If you put it in, if you put it in the ground, it's going to be more of like a ground cover, okay? So nice and low, beautiful violet flowers, again, smell delicious. And you can absolutely pair those together if you wanted to. If you didn't want to go with the purple on the purple, the monochromatic, you could always use white night. White night is still that sweet alyssum, but it is a white flower instead. You absolutely can do that. Then we have the campfires. So you have campfire flame. If you like the hot colors, then let's use this. This is campfire flame, a beautiful annual that is going to attract those pollinators like crazy. Nice kind of that orangey red look to it. So you have that. You can see that right now it's a little shorter. It will get some height to it, 8 to 14 inches tall, so don't freak out. What I planted in a container at the chicken coop was the Goldilocks rocks. I wanted that nice pop of yellow because I wanted to be able to see that container really from a distance. So the Goldilocks rocks, that bright yellow. Anytime you're looking to draw an eye from a distance, bright yellow is a way to go, right? I could have absolutely done the campfire flame, but it would have kind of blended in from a distance and I wouldn't be able to see it as much. So I went with the Goldilocks rocks. A personal favorite of mine that we're going to be using in the signature garden is the campfire marshmallow. And as its name suggests, it's a beautiful white. Last year, we paired the campfire marshmallow with that Aromanthus Nemesia in the landscape. It went through multiple cool nights. And when I say cool, I'm talking about the low 30s, right? Not a problem. We never covered it. These guys lasted forever. Again, going to use these in the signature garden in mass. And so they're going to have this sweet little white daisy-like flower all over them. And then we have guara. We sell these as annuals, but they are really perennials for us. So you can choose two here at the nursery right now. We have the Carolee Petite Pink that is blooming. This is going to be a little shorter one. It is only going to be, I say only, 14 to 20 inches tall. If you know guara, then that's a petite one. This is going to be hardy in zones 6 to 10. And then if you want something a little bit bigger, we can go over here to the Stratosphere. Stratosphere is going to be a little bit more delayed in blooms. We've got some buds right here. And the Stratosphere is going to be up to 24 inches tall. Still that kind of that nice, a little bit more of a white with some pink in it. So those are options for you. Of course, the Artemisia would be great out in the landscape right now, as would the lemon coral sedum. Selling a ton of that, beautiful, nice, tight, compact. And then I think even your Silver Falls, you could probably, it's a little bit small still right now, but this is a great trailer for you. It will do really well. Now, what I also planted in the containers was the Laguna Compact Blue. This is, y'all, look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Look how nice and rich and deep blue that is with that white eye. Absolutely lovely. Put these in the urns on the back patio. Just a beautiful display. Now, some things that you may want to look at and make a note of, but say, okay, I'm going to put a pin in that. Or if you have somewhere to keep it, you can absolutely buy them. I wouldn't put them out yet, though, right now. Look at the Selenias. This is that Selenia apricot. Oh, my heavens. Begonias don't like to be cold right now in the spring. They tend to be more cold hardy as we move into fall, but right now they still like to be nice and warm. Your Selenias, there's a couple of different colors in that Selenia series that we have down through here. The apricot seems to be a little bit on the early side, 8 to 12 inches tall. So then you have the yellow that is back there, nice cheery, kind of a banana yellow. And then we have the chocolate orange. Chocolate orange really isn't blooming yet. Deep foliage, but you can see that the buds are coming through. Nice orange to it. And then kind of the same thing a little bit with the scarlet. Scarlet has a really deep green and then a bright red. These are double flowers and just going to be absolutely gorgeous. So you want to wait on those just a little bit. We got your coleus, your rocapucos. We have folks literally traveling from everywhere. It was yesterday that we had folks from Delaware that came to come see us. So if you're traveling through, you absolutely can pick these plants up. So if you're really looking for coffee cups, people are asking, do we have coffee cups? Or when are we going to get coffee cups? Honey, they're here. Coffee cups is here and they are growing. And but so if you're traveling through, we have them. Just might want to pay attention kind of when you're going to actually put them out in the landscape. Saffron finch. Look at this, Supertunia saffron finch, a relatively new one to the line of proven winners. Love that yellow. We have big plans for this one in the signature garden as well. The tiaras, the Supertunia tiaras, they're not blooming yet. We've got tiara pink, tiara blue, but the petunias are blooming. And I don't know about y'all, but I have been tracking the hummingbird migration coming north. I cannot wait to welcome my little friends back to our gardens. For us, they're predicted like between like the 1st of April through mid-April. So I am ready to welcome them. If you want to welcome the hummingbirds, you need Vermilion Air. This is what it does. And you may look at that and go, well, that's not a very big flower. No, it's not, but the hummingbirds go nuts over those things. They love it. This will have a very kind of free form, very open habit to it, and it will be covered in those electric neon orange blooms that the hummingbirds cannot resist. So we've got plenty of those. It looks like people have been buying them, so good for that. The osteos, your African daisies, they too would be great to go ahead and go out now. So the earliest one to bloom is that double moon glow, which is a nice soft yellow. So that is a beautiful one to add. I have plans for that up in where the garden boxes are. Oh, here we go. And then we've got I love mixing the Bright Lights pink with the Bright Lights purple. And we have the first little purple bloom. Look at that. Because the pink and the purple kind of have that ombre look to it. They're very much in that same color family, and they just go together super well. And then if you want a little bit of everything, a little bit of all the colors, then the Horizon Sunset would be a good one for you as well. It too is not yet blooming, it's a little later, but it has those pinks and purples and oranges, all those colors on that same flower. It is a beautiful plant. Absolutely can put out super bells. Super bells, love it, nice and cool. So doesn't matter. It's like, tell me a color and I'll give you a super bell for it. So whether you like that hot coral sun or you want to do that double white, absolutely. The new double smitten pink is such a sweet one. And even the double redstone. The redstone has that red and that yellow together. Oh, just beautiful. But these do like it nice and cool. They will stay nice and compact. We have them growing outside up in production for the online store. They've hit in the, it was like,
and it had a little light frost.
Had a light frost on them, and it was like, what, 31, something like that? 30, yeah. And so they can handle it, not a problem whatsoever. What else is blooming? So, of course, your hellebores. Hellebores, your Lenten roses. This is like the Macy marble. Part of me is hopefully kind of secretly wishing y'all don't buy all the hellebores so I can add more to my garden, you know, because then I just feel like I'm doing a service, right? I'm just taking care of the plants and giving them a new home. So if you don't buy them, then I'll find a place for them in my garden. somebody come and buy this tree. We've got 2 of them. These are the Royal Star Magnolias. Oh my gosh, y'all. These are early spring bloomers, big, huge white flowers. You can see it's been blooming for quite a little while. It does have a fragrance, and it is just, it's a nice petite tree. It's not going to be like a magnolia that's like 30 to 40 feet tall. So it'll stay relatively small. I have one in the behind the garden shed. Love mine, but just beautiful, nice, pretty flowers that has a little bit of pink veining in it. And then of course the fragrance. We have another one over there as well. These are 15 gallons. So it's a really good size for a tree, get it into the ground. And so, yeah, somebody come get these while they are still blooming so you can add a big pop to your garden. All right, now heading out, because we're talking about those plants that can handle these cooler temperatures. We are moving more and more plants outside. The more plants we can move outside, the better it is for the plants and everybody involved. So you can see that we're practicing what we're preaching, right? We have that pretty sweet pink Chablis Lamian, which is a great ground cover, a trailer in a container or the ground. It too will be a perennial for us here in the South. This is going to be a perennial in zones, oh my gosh, y'all, 4 to 8. So if you buy pink Chablis and you're in zone 4 to 8, you're paying for it as an annual, but really it's a perennial. But again, having all those plants out here can handle it easy peasy. Now, perennials. It is a great time to be adding these perennials and shrubs. If you want camellias, I am adding camellias to my garden. Let's get them in before the heat of the summer hits. This is from the Proven Winners. This is that Just Chill double white. I added 2 of these to the chicken coop garden. Beautiful, nice double white flower, blooms in the fall. If you don't like white, we also have the double mauve, so you can choose that as well. Alliums. It is a wonderful time to be adding beautiful alliums to your garden. This is serendipity, and this is what mine look like in the garden that have been there for a couple of years. They're going to come back. They're deer proof, they're rabbit proof because they're onions. And so I have a rabbit problem up at the house, and so I am embracing alliums, and so I'm going to be planting multiple different varieties of alliums so I can still get my beautiful flowers, but those little pesky rabbits will not chew on them. This is a really fun lamb's ear. So lamb's ear is going to be that sweet, really fuzzy. You can see why it gets its name. Look at that. It looks just like a little lamb's ear, and it's nice and soft. Again, if you have children in your life, they're going to love this plant. Now, this is the petite one. This is the silver carpet. Yes, silver carpet, which is a dwarf one. It's not a giant one. So the key to doing really well with your lamb's ear is it loves the sun and it loves to be well draining. So the silver carpet is only going to be 12 inches tall, 12 inches wide, because like some of the giant ones can get nice and big. This would be a great one to add in those little small little nooks and crannies, because think of it this way. Even if we did this, back up, Jerry, if we did these 2 together, right? So you do your alliums to have that nice dark green, kind of a bluish, and you put that silver carpet with it, around it, underneath it, beautiful companions together. And they're going to kind of be a little bit semi-evergreen. My alliums this year did die back all the way completely just because we had such a cold winter. Your lamb's ear is going to be a semi-evergreen. Mine stayed all winter, but now it's really putting on some new growth. So I am excited about that silver carpet for sure. Now, come on over here. We have got, y'all, the selection of daylilies. We have got tons of daylilies and gorgeous colors. Cece and I were over here last week, and we were organizing and moving stuff around. And I am such a sucker for these plants because I see these, you know, the pictures on here, and I'm like, oh, that is gorgeous. So one of my favorites is called Sunday Gloves, and it is a really soft, like yellow, very creamy yellow, and it's a very petite plant. So it's not going to be this huge, massive daylily. You can tell from the plant itself already compared to some of the other ones. Nice and short. It's 27 inches, including the flower. So if you like those delicate colors, you've got that. If you want something big and bold, then you can try maybe like storm shelter. Look at that with those purples and those pinks. Isn't that pretty? I say that Proven Winners has probably some of the best daylilies I've ever seen. They are just nonstop bloomers, huge, huge flowers on them. Storm Shelter is going to be, again, not too massive, 24 inches tall. And then where were some of these other ones? Then we have Sound of My Heart, where it's going to be more of that kind of that purple and pink with the yellow in the center of it. I don't know if you can see, maybe not the best picture of that, but gorgeous. So if you're looking for a super low maintenance plant, daylilies are definitely one to consider, and I certainly love adding them to my garden. All right, do you want to head over to the shade garden? All right, my friends, so shade garden. Now, what I'm about to show you, none of this has been in a greenhouse. It has all been outside. So if this were in your garden right now, this is what it would look like in your garden right now, middle of March in North Carolina. Yes, you can have flowers for sure. Okay, so I just get so stinking excited about this. One, I have to showcase this to you. Look at this Daphne. Y'all, we got the Daphnes in the late summer, early fall. She's been sitting outside. Y'all, I wish there was smell-o-vision because this Daphne smells so good. It is glorious. These are very happy plants. We've got multiples of them blooming, fragrance in your garden. Yes. And then look next door. Yes, your camellias. It is japonica season for sure here in the South. This is April Remembered. Look at this. Look how massive this flower is. The poor little stem can't hold up the weight of these two blooms on it. Absolutely glorious. Now, of course, your camellias do like that shade. Like I said, Cece does a phenomenal job putting these together. You absolutely could have all of this in your garden right now. The cast iron plants, the aspidistra. This is tiny tank, so it's nice and short and petite. Just about everything in here is also going to be evergreen. So even in the wintertime, you're going to have color and texture in your garden. So this is tiny tank, nice kind of upright leaves on it, beautiful for that dry shade garden. You've got that. You've got a fall blooming camellia. This is October Magic Orchid, which is a nice, again, soft, creamy white with some pink edging. So this will be your fall bloomer, so you can have blooms in the fall. You can transition and have them in the wintertime. Also, look at the bleeding hearts. We've got two different kinds of bleeding hearts right here. This is your gold heart. Let me get my names right. And then this is the red one. I think it's Valentine's. So these have overwintered outside the entire time. They are coming up. The Valentine's has little buds on it. Beautiful, cool weather, loving perennials. They are herbaceous. So in the late summer, when it gets super hot, they'll start to die back. Don't worry, it's okay. They'll get some height to them. My gold hearts get some nice, good, almost like 2 feet tall. Beautiful, absolutely glorious. And then we've got, again, for some evergreen color, you've got the Sweet and Low Sarcococas right here. Love this. They have their buds on them. They're called Sweet and Low because those flowers will have a lovely, sweet fragrance to them. And then, of course, Cece had to bring in some hostas. This is Party Streamers, and she was like, look how stinking cute those are. So they are starting to wake up. They look like little party streamers, you know, just a little bursting forth from the ground. Love that. And then more camellias. This is the newer one that we just got not, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. This is, oh my gosh, Junior Miss. There's nothing junior about that flower. It is as big as my hand. This one will be about like 6 by 6. So that's why it's called a junior, because for a japonica, that's kind of small. But it has a nice, mild, little sweet fragrance to it. So y'all, it doesn't matter if you have a full sun garden and you love all the annual color, or maybe you have a shade garden and you like the shrubs and the perennials, because we get customers all over the board My mama, this is her. This is where she lives. She doesn't care too much about the annuals because she doesn't have a lot of sun. So she wants to come out here. We have other customers that want nothing but that massive flower power in the summer. So they hang out over there in the summer, in the greenhouse with all that summer color. I personally, I'm in both camps. So there's something for everybody here at Creekside. Of course, we are open Wednesdays through Saturdays, 9 to 3. Those will be our hours from now until we close sometime in December, I suppose. And so you can come see us. We would love for you to come. Of course, if you have found this video helpful, informative, inspirational, a little bit of fun, we would love it if you would like and subscribe to Gardening with Creekside so that you do not miss the 5 videos that we do every week. Again, we're here to help. We would love for you to come visit us. Let us help you create the gardens that you want for your garden. We'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, friends.